Hey guys, this is Gabe Dimmick from the Baseball Rebellion, and this is the breakdown of Giancarlo Stanton from this year's Home Run Derby. And Stanton's obviously a gigantic, strong human being, and he kind of lives off of that. In this Home Run Derby, Aaron Judge performed amazingly and won, obviously, and he's actually a little bit bigger than Stanton, but what's interesting is that Judge uses his body much better, and I would say that Judge is, yes, he's helped by his size and his strength, but that's not necessarily the only reason that he's good. Where for Stanton, his swing is not very good in my opinion, but he can just kind of muscle balls out of there, which again is definitely a good talent to have, a skill to have. But I think if he could learn to move his body better, he could be unreal as far as his swing goes and his performance goes. So first thing I notice here is you can just see his stride or his stance really closing himself off already. Now, sometimes that's a style thing where a guy will end up stepping straight, but straight would be heel to heel. So he would have to step all the way over into this area over here to be able to step straight, and he doesn't really do that. So what we're going to see is he's going to go into his stride, and when he lands, he's still going to be really closed off here. So you get the hips not able to unlock and to turn all the way through it. I don't think he's particularly loaded here with his upper body either. Like his elbow is kind of down by his side. It's not up and back where we would want it. So he's not creating as much separation as we would like. Also, because of that, with his hands high, so his hands are not down by his chest either where we would want them. They're up above his shoulder, and what that causes is his bat to be a little bit too flat. So we'd like that to be a little more up, so a little more somewhere in that area at least, so that it could really turn and get to more pitches. So because of the way that he swings or the way that he sets up and his bat being pretty flat, what you're going to see is that as he goes around, he's going to end up swinging very flat, more like a merry-go-round. And so what that's going to do is it's going to take his bat out of the zone prematurely. But before we get there, let's talk about his lower half. So you can see his hips trying to open, but again, and one of the ways we can see that is this back heel coming up, but he still doesn't turn it nearly as much as I've seen some other guys. So he's not getting great lower body turn. It looks like his head, from this view it's a little hard to tell, but it looks like his head is kind of forward instead of being back. And then as he's going, it doesn't look like because he's not pulling back very well with this back shoulder blade, his lower half's trying to turn, he doesn't really create that separation that's going to lead to a lot of power. So he doesn't really get his lower half ahead of his hands. So now as he's going through, he does a decent job here of getting the barrel, snapped out in the way of the ball. But watch how he hits the ball and then he immediately ejects this way. Okay, so if his timing is off at all, he's going to hit a lot of balls. Also, just swing path. From a swing path standpoint, he's swinging very flat, and for a downcoming pitch, we're going to see this in the next swing where he actually mishits one under. He's going to lead to a lot of mishits because he's not on playing with it, and so because the ball's coming in flat and he's going to be coming in, the ball's coming down and he's going to be coming flat, he's going to have a tendency to miss under a lot. Let's take a look at his hip turn through the actual turn piece of this, and what you're going to see is that he can't quite get himself around. You see his back foot, it moves, but it's going to slide kind of back towards the third base dugout a little bit. You see he's kind of crisscrossing his feet here. Again, that had to do with that inward stride, and then his hips just aren't getting all the way around. You can see his back is trying to finish, but it's still back here towards the catcher. But again, that's just a simple stride issue where he didn't step straight, he didn't allow his hips to fully turn, and he didn't resist his upper body well enough, and so that just leads to a guy who, yes, when he squares it up, he can hit the ball a mile because he is huge and big and strong, but he's also going to hit a lot of balls, and that's one of the reasons he's not I would say an elite player. He's good, but he could be a lot better. So here in this next video, we're going to see, again, you can see both views. This one he's going to miss underneath the pitch. So he pulls back decently at the beginning here with his back shoulder blade. He actually is loading his hips fairly well here, but again, he's still closing himself off heel to heel, and so as he goes, at this point he doesn't maintain that pullback. So you can see this elbow still down by his side. This back elbow's kind of gotten ahead of where it really should be at this point. And so as he comes in, you're going to see the bat really flatten out a lot. And again, it's going to come very, 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 very flat, right? You can see I'm going to use a dot here. So there's his barrel here. Let's keep going. And it's pretty quick, obviously, but it's here. So it's more around his body than over his body. So what we want to see is more of a path where if his bat was here at this point, we'd want to see it go more up diagonally over his shoulder, right? More like that King Griffey Jr. finish instead of flat around. And that's, again, why he misses under right here, because the ball is coming in down and he is coming in too flat, okay? So overall, I mean, again, obviously he's a good player. He's been an all-star, I believe, multiple times. He's put up big home run numbers. I'm not saying he's not good, but what I am saying is that he could be better, and a big piece of that is the way that he moves his body. He is very big and strong, and he's a monster, but what we tell our hitters, if they're big and strong, we don't want them to rely on that as the reason that they're good, but we do want it to help them. So that's definitely a piece of the equation, but there's definitely some things that Stanton could do to improve. Thanks for watching this breakdown.